Morning. I heard that, unfortunately, I didn't attend Sonia's keynote, but I heard that it was amazing. So I hope this session will be as valuable for you guys. So before we start, I would like to introduce the one and the only, and please give me a big round of applause, Wessel Blignaut. My key.
You always put me on the spot.
Yes.
I'm
See
the
what?
guy behind Sonia.
Nice.
So I want to introduce you to Rochelle. She's a crack agile coach. I love to work with her. And we love to share our knowledge.
Cool. I paid him to say that though, but no, I'm just kidding. Okay, great stuff, guys. So today's session, we're going to look at the Kanban policy game. But to do so, I have to give credit to this amazing man here. And I'm not going to pronounce or try and pronounce his surname because I might just do it injustice. So Dimitar, he was the brains behind this simulation in this game that you guys are actually going to play today. So if you guys are interested in taking this to your organization or to your teams, please, you can either speak to one of us, one of the SPRI employees, or you can follow him on Twitter. I know it's different. It wasn't a spelling error. This is actually his Twitter handle. You can follow him and reach out to him. He'll share all the material for you guys to take it into your organization and your teams as well. So on that, let's kick off. So the agenda of today. So as the agenda, or as the theme or the title of this talk is the Kanban policy game, that is obviously the first point that we're going to cover today. We're going to do that through a software simulation. So you'll and we'll speak through that, what that is. And then the third thing is we're going to measure the collaboration levels within the team. Okay. So I'm seeing, and you guys have already self-organized around a board that looks similar to this. Cool. If you're not, please move to one of them. Great. We've got some space here. Then there are going to be some roles today, so we're going to have some nice fun. So how this works is you're going to need at least 4 team players and team members, and the rest of you guys can be scribes. So depending on the size of your group, if you're 7, then there's going to be 3 scribes, and if you're 6, then there's only going to be 2. Is there any teams that's less than that? No. You guys? 5 here. So then maybe we can just help out with the scribe, because then there's one person that's going to be... Okay, cool. Then you'll probably, rather than observe, because the scribe, it's quite involved, but then you can one of, Hans, can you maybe move to there? Okay, great stuff. So we've already populated your features for you guys for today, and you'll see that by the pink and the different color stickies on the boards. So the number of the features in the middle of each of these stickies. And we'll explain to you guys now how you're going to go about filling some more information on them. So, but before that, have you guys noticed that there's some coins on the table? Okay, does everyone know how to flick a coin? Not everyone does, right? So as long as you have some form of it flipping, then it's fine. We can call that then flicking it. Okay, so you'll see there's 2 different colored dots on the sticky, on the coins as well. We've got a red and a blue dot. And this is what you have to do when you've tossed that specific color. So if you've got a blue dot, then you have to do one of the following rules. And I've also added them around the room. If you guys get stuck, and there's also some team members that have already played the game. Let's maybe quickly raise our hands if you've already played this game. Okay, so there's a few of them around. So if you guys want, you can always ask one of them as well. But the rules are around here. So back to the blue dot. So if you have tossed the blue dot, then you have to do one of the following. First, you can either advance one of your stickies, or you can unblock a sticky and advance it, or you can start a new sticky, and the last option is you can help one of your team members, but that's only if your collaboration policy allows for it. And does everyone know what the collaboration policy is? No, yes, you guys are awake, so it's fine. I haven't spoken about it yet, so that was just a test. Well done. Then the red dot. So if you've tossed the red dots, then you have to do both of these following actions. You have to block an unblocked item, and you have to pull in a new piece of work. And why do you guys think that is? You can't work on a blocked item. Is there some form of an expectation of our team members at our workplaces that if you are blocked, then you have to work on something else? There's that expectation, right? Okay, we're going to see how that works out today. Cool. So blocking a ticket, how that works is, so if you've tossed the red dot, then you're going to write the letter B, because that's the first letter of the word block, on the bottom left corner of your sticky. Okay. This means that I have first tossed a red, I wrote B, the next day I tossed a blue. I could unblock my blocked item, and how do you do that? You just scratch it off. Okay, and then this is an example of me throwing a red dot as well again, and then I can just write B next to the scratched out B. Okay, so just as long as it makes sense and you can kind of see if it's blocked or not. Okay, perfect. Then some rules. So each day will start with a daily stand-up. In the daily stand-up, you're going to do one of these following actions. You're going to first, collectively as a team, the team members will toss a coin. Then you're going to make it known, or you're going to share your results with your team members and scribe, and I'll explain to you guys now what the scribes will do. And then you're going to move. You're going to actually action out. You're going to do the work. And then the last action is this, one of the scribes will then do the column count at the end. I know it's a lot of information, guys, and the fun will start soon. So just bear with me for a few more seconds, okay? So then there's some illegal moves. So I can see some of you guys here that needs to pay attention to this, you know. Yes. I don't want to mention names or anything, you know. But so there's some illegal moves. One of them is you cannot move a sticky more than once during a day. And the second is if you team up or you pair up with a team member, one of your team members, you can only do one action. Okay. And I'll visually represent this to you guys now with this, because I know I said a lot. So let me show you what I meant. So let's go back to the different rules. So if I've tossed the blue, I can do one of the following 4 options, right? First one is I can advance one of my items. And this is how you can do it. Just pull the sticky off and move it. Then the second one is I can unblock one of my blocked items and advance. And that's what I'll do there. I'll just scratch the bead off and then I'll move it. Or I can start a new item. I can pull it in, and then you'll see what is going to magically happen now. If I just click, my initials will appear on the top left. Okay. So, and I'll run through that rules again. You guys have a format of a ticket sticky design, a big one, on your tables. So if you do forget where the different things go, okay. And the last one is I can pair up with a teammate. So for instance, if Wessel tossed a red, so he's blocked, but I tossed a blue, I can pair up to say, no, Wessel, let's move your ticket together to complete. That means that Wessel will not need to pull in a new piece of work, right? Because it's just one action. Okay. But that's only when the collaboration policy allows for it, and I'll touch on what that means. The red dots. So I have to do the following 2 actions. I have to block an unblocked item, and I have to pull in a new piece of work. Okay. And we said it. It's an expectation at work as well. You cannot just, stay idle. I mean, what benefit is that? Great. So some metrics and what we're going to write on these stickies. So I mentioned at the top left is your initials. So if you work on a piece and you pull a piece of work in a sticky now, then you're going to initial the top left. The bottom left is your blocked status, blocked or unblocked. The top right is my start date. So if I've pulled a sticky in from ready to build, I'm going to write that day on the top right. We'll go through that now. So you'll see there's 4 stickies on your currently in your build. Does everyone see that? Let's quickly discuss who's going to be the team players within your team. You guys can quickly. Everyone gets 4 team players, okay? Then quickly initial them. A minimum of 2, a maximum of 3. Okay, great. So you guys have self-organized. So you got your team members. Okay. I see. Okay, cool. So you guys have your team players. You can quickly initial these stickies. The top left corner, right? Everyone, there's a pen initial. Then, okay. I'll go through the scribes now, so don't worry. Scribes, I'll explain to you guys now what to do. Okay. Everyone ready? Wait, before we do the scribes. Okay. I see you guys are super excited to start. I can't wait. So just a few more rules. So the bottom left I didn't talk about. So I said the top left, you put the day, you pull it into your build. You'll see, sorry? Oh, top right, what did I say? Sorry, I'm just testing you guys. Okay, cool. So the top right corner is your start date. The bottom right is your completed date. So if you'll see there's a completed state on your board. So as and when you put your sticky into complete, you'll put that date there. So let's quickly go through the different sheets. And this is also going to speak to how do we know which day it is. So either you'll have three or did my TV go off? So can I just speak loudly? The battery's off. Cool. So either you'll have 3 or 2 scribes, right? So how that's going to work is you'll see there'll be 2 of these sheets at your desk. So the one scribe that's, if you guys only have 2, right? Who has 3 scribes? Only 2 tables that have 3 scribes. Okay, so you can decide which one gets what. So this first table or form on the right, there you go, so I don't have to scream anymore. This one on the right, with the team name on top, you guys can be creative on what team name that is. You can also then, hopefully if you've got familiarized with your team members currently, or if you haven't, you can just write their initials at the top here as well. Okay, you're going to take note what the team members have tossed. So remember, the daily stand-up starts. Everyone will flick their coins together. You're going to actually jot down and scribe if they've tossed blue or red. Okay. B for blue, R for red. Okay. This scribe, column count. This will happen at the end of every day. So that this person will take notes after all the moves have been made. You guys will, or you will then say, okay, cool, how many for day 1 is in test, how many for day 1 is in build, how many for day 1 is in done. Okay. You guys will then also be able to track from this at the left corners on what day you are. Okay. Everyone happy so far with this? Then there's this last log sheet for either a scribe can do that together if you guys are just 2, but if you're 3, then you guys can have each individually one of these log sheets. So this is the lead time. So how you're going to work that out is at the end of the 10 days, you're going to take note of how many has been incompleted, and you're going to write down that start date and end date. And you can work out the time it took by, how do you work out a lead time for that? Your end date minus your start date. Okay. I think there is the sum of it is on your, so if you do, but I mean, we're here to help you guys, so don't worry about that, okay? Everyone happy so far? Great stuff. Now the fun is going to begin. So I want you guys to try and imagine an agile transformation, okay? Welcome everyone. I'm super excited to be part of this lovely organization. So my name is Rochelle and I've been appointed by your leadership and management team to be your Agile coach. So I can see a lot of smiles here. That's really going to be awesome, right? So just a few logistics to get out of the way before we kick off, right? So I'm here to help with your performance as a team and as an organization, and how we're going to do that is we're actually going to measure how many features you guys are going to complete in the next 10 days. Okay, I can see you guys are super psyched to do that. So I know you guys will ask me, will management see these measurements and will they use it maybe for your individual performance at the end of these cycles? And to be honest, I'm not sure. So we'll probably need to ask management himself to just confirm that. But we're agile, so we need to be transparent for us to also be able to see where our improvement areas are, right? So let's quickly pull management into just to confirm if they'll use this. Manager.
So, Rochelle had a lot to say after the final set. I don't believe in this buddy-buddy working together thing. For me, we'll reward individuals. At the end, the guy that does the most tickets in done, I'll reward him as a person. This buddy-buddy thing doesn't work. So there's no collaboration. For this round, we don't have any work limits as well. I want as many as possible work items being alive, being worked on, and you guys need to say Afrikaans, roer jou gat.
Okay, so sure, that was quite something, right? So just to recap, I spoke to management and I've spoken to a few of you guys just to get familiarized with your current organizational policies that's in play, and this is what we came across. So just to recap, manager, are you saying now that you will measure the individual performance at the end of these 10 days and their bonuses will be rewarded in candy at the end?
Yes, definitely. But it will be individual. I'm not going to reward many people. I mean, for me, the rest that doesn't perform, I mean, label itself as deadwood. Thanks for leaving.
Sure. Okay. Well, that's a high note, right? So on that, I'm still seeing some spikes, some energy levels. Let's hone in on that, guys. Let's pull together. Let's just recap. So the collaboration policy is it's every man for itself. You'll get some nice candy at the end. And the pull policy is there isn't necessarily a pull policy because we don't have to have a whip limit at this point in time. So let's just recap. The day will start. In your daily stand-up every morning, everyone will toss a coin together. You will make it known what you've tossed. Scribes, you will fill it in. You'll make your move. Scribes, you'll do the day count, and then the next day will start. Let the games begin. Yes. It's 10 days. 10 days. 10 days. So you guys, when did...
What do you mean how long duration?
No, just once a day. So did you guys miss the start of the? Is it? Okay, cool. Okay, so but let's just okay, so let me recap. Okay, cool. How it works is the day starts with the daily stand-up. You guys flick a coin. Everyone flicks a coin, or the 14 players flicks a coin together. Do you have your team
we need to put the team
initials? You were supposed to initial already. So, okay, cool. Who's going to be the team of players? You guys.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes. What's your names? Patejo, Dale. Patejo, Dale. Sorry. Oh, sorry? Ntwesi. Sorry? No, sorry. That's very loud. Okay, great. So we've got the 14 players. You've initialed your ticket. Great. So how it's going to start now, he's going to write the initials there. You guys are going to come together. Okay. Okay, great stuff, everyone. So, well done, well done. So we're done with our first batch. The manager will come around now to reward his star employees with some bonuses. So yes. Do we have the key individuals here that performed? There you go. Okay, cool. Do we have the key individuals that performed this round? Yes. Is it? SV and MY. Ah, okay, cool. You guys can clean up the completed one then.
And it's if you hasn't.
Have you guys completed the lead time?
Yes.
Yes, then you can complete it.
He said we must leave it for bonus.
For bonus?
Yeah, I don't know what he means.
Yes, but remember, I trust you guys, so I know you guys will tell me who was those key individuals.
So we must
Who? Yes, so Stuart, you guys, you got a chocolate. You're going to get some bonus now. Cool. So you guys completed. Who was the key individuals?
Who won?
So we've got two key individuals here. You guys, manager will come around to reward you guys now. Okay. Okay. Are we done? Yes. Okay, cool. Manager, have you completed your rounds? Okay, cool. Yeah? Come on, we need to speed up things. We're taking way too long. Okay, can we come? Boom. Great stuff. I hear you guys have been rewarded. What you can do now is you've cleared the board. We're going to take the yellow ones. Do exactly the same. Pull 4 into build and the rest into ready. Initial, and then the day selected is day 0. Cool, guys. Let's recap. Let's just bring it together. Sorry, guys. So in your individual groups, individual groups, how did that feel? Yes, Suzanne. Difficult. Why was it difficult? Okay, because you didn't feel support. Yes. Ah, he was eating the chocolate. Oh, that's quite. Ah, okay. That's one way of motivating. So we didn't mention, so we actually wanted to bring some carrots as well if you guys wanted carrots. So if you want to opt for a more healthier option, there's some apples as well next time. But okay, cool. Any other observations? Any other concepts? Any workplace parallels that maybe you guys noticed here? Yes.
I didn't need the team to play this game.
Yes, okay.
In that round, I could have been sitting at my desk.
Okay, you didn't need the team, but still you were in a team format, right?
Not really.
You had a team board,
But I could have had my own swim lane.
but you could have had your own swim lane. Okay, great. Perfect. I like that.
Stand-up was a free-for-all. Everyone was just in there. I think no one was listening to anyone else.
No one was listening to anyone else. Okay. Anything else? One last thing. Yes. Very process orientated. Sorry, they felt terrible. Sorry, but if you guys have a comment, then let's keep it for the greater group as well, so that everyone can hear it. So you guys felt terrible. There was no feedback. But let's quickly just wrap our heads around this, right? So you guys know the practices of Kanban, okay? So let's check in if we've actually implemented some of them. So visualize. Did we visualize our work? We visualize our work states, work item types, right? So let's use this blue color. So I'm going to put a round 1 we visualized. Did we limit our work in progress? No, right? Okay. I'm going to write the X for this one. Did we manage flow? No. And I heard Sonia spoke about being more flow orientated, focusing on flow. So hopefully at the end of these 3 rounds we can, bring it all together as well. Make policies explicit. Did we have explicit policies? We did, right? Flawed they might have been, but we did have explicit policies. Did we have feedback loops? Guys say no. The stand-up, we had a daily stand-up. Was it effective? That is a different question, right? But we did have stand-ups. Did we improve collaboratively and evolve experimentally, maybe? No. Okay. Great stuff. Now, let's quickly start this. So, Agile Coach back. So team, I've heard you guys, we've had a retrospective, we've checked in. It wasn't necessarily the best round, but some coaching with management, and they finally agreed that we need to limit our work in progress because that's going to make us more productive, right? Am I seeing some nodding? No. Okay, great. So how that's going to work is you guys are 4 team players, so team members in a team. So that means there's some space on the top of your boards. We're just going to write 4 at build and 4 in test, and that's going to be your WIP limits. Work in progress limits. Okay, everyone done that? Then I'm going to invite the manager back to the stage. Just to recap on all the policies that we have that we might have changed or that we're going to implement now. So manager, do you want to?
So, seems like this is a holiday club. Nothing really happened the previous round that was earth-shattering. So we stick to the previous rules as, I was advised by the Agile consultant we're going to implement WIP limits. No, these Agile consultants, a lot of fluffy stuff. I need to see performance. So, again, I'm just going to reward the individual. I'm not paying for a lot of deadwood. Again, individual rewards. No collaboration. You guys, you can do your job. The guy that can't do his job, out the door. Thanks for leaving. And WIP limits as per indicated at the top of your columns. So, welcome to real life.
Sure, okay. How motivating is that, right? Okay, cool. So just to recap, everyone, the rules stay, some rules stay the same. You guys are no longer going to task because we're not going to measure complexity. We're actually going to use the previous round's results that you've tasked. So how that's going to work is the scribe that took what you guys have tasked will cover up, because we can't foresee what we'll do the next day, right? So they will cover up and actually guide for the first day and read out what every person has tasked, and you'll make your moves accordingly, okay? So, okay, I know, right? It sucks. But we're trying to measure and trying to illustrate what underlying company policies does to collaboration, right? That was the objective. So that's why we're not measuring complexity.
What if you've got 4 things involved and you get ready to move into it?
No, yet you can't. So, just to recap, so that's what we're going to do regarding our move. So we're going to use what was tasked in the first round. You're going to then action out, and then you're going to do the same. You're going to do the column count and lead time. But we're going to, we're going to focus on our pool policy. So we still want our resources to be fully utilized, but we can only pull work in when we have when our WIP limit allows for it, right? So that means only 4 items in that specific state. Everyone understand that? Okay, cool. So let's get as many done tickets as possible. No, you can't pull in work.
You can move
No. Blue. Do our final debrief. What time? How much time do we have left? 10 to. Okay, great. Because I can just speak forever in a day. Yeah? Yes, yeah. Because they're such good workers. Okay, cool. Are you guys, Miranda? Miranda?
1, 2, 3.
I don't know which one to take though.
1, 2, 3. Hierso. Hierso is nootjie 2. Eet jy genoeg?
Ek het baie.
Wow.
11, 10, 13. This is a good one. Okay, I think I've got enough of the lead time. I just need more finished work. Okay, cool. Great stuff. Thank you, everyone. Okay, cool. We can continue. Okay, great. Let's quickly. Now we're going to. Can you guys still hear me? Is it still on? Okay, cool. Great. Now we're going to award the best teams. So, manager, can you please make your rounds? No, it's everyone. It's everyone. Yes, yeah. Cool. Okay, let's quickly do a debrief. So, manager, we've had a conversation and he has agreed. You guys have worked really hard, so everyone gets a sweetie. Yay! He is actually a softie, right? Yeah, he tries to be, but he's a big marshmallow. Okay, great. So, quick debrief. How was round 3? Much better. I heard much better. Anything else? So the burn rate. So the waste was way less. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Did everyone else notice that the waste was less? But in the second round, because limiting your work in progress, that's an effect or the results of what would happen if you limit your work in progress, right? Okay, cool. Any workplace parallels from this round, right? We're all collaborating, right?
We were discussing though, because there was the reward aspect, we were trying to game the system to get the most done.
Ah, okay.
And that's going to happen when the moment you bring in reward.
Okay. Or punishment, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this starts touching on, okay, what are we putting in our organizations? What are we putting in our teams to drive a specific behavior? Okay, so on that, let's quickly just recap. We need to keep ourselves honest. So did we use visualization? Yes. We limited our work in progress. We managed flow. We made our policies explicit. We had feedback loops. Let's quickly just stop on that feedback loop. How was this daily stand-up compared to round 1 and round 2? Much better. What changed?
It's like everyone looked at the whole system.
Okay. So
Together, trying to figure out what's the best way, and rather just focusing on your own bit.
okay, cool. So we started focusing on the whole system rather than focusing on what I need to do. What changed? Why did we start focusing on the whole system?
We want to optimize the whole system and not just our own.
Okay. Our goal changed, right? Our underlying policy changed. Okay. So, feedback loops, you guys said we did. Then improve collaboratively, evolve experimentally, yes. We did that, right? Cool. Now I want us to quickly look at, we mentioned briefly systems, but before we do that, do you guys know Virginia Satir's J-curve? I'm sure there's a lot of people that know it much more in detail than what I do, but I just quickly want to touch this base or touch on this. So kind of the theme of this conference so far has been that we need to start focusing and moving away from just a checklist, right? Of if we do X, then we're going to get Y. There's something deeper. There's something more to this journey that we're on, right? And what the J curve represents here is how we feel change. And we need to be aware of it. As team coaches, as whatever role you are playing within your organization, you need to be aware of what the impact of change has on the people that are actually doing the work. So Selena was speaking about, I wrote it down because otherwise I'm going to say the wrong thing. You need to turn up and care. We need to know what the effect of our actions and what we're going into in our organization. So just to quickly touch base on this. So if we have to link it back to the game. So we introduced this agile transformation. The first round, and I know this is, we're not going to go into too much detail of this, but the first round, we kind of just established the status quo. We didn't change we didn't introduce new policies in the company. We just said, okay, cool, we're going to visualize currently what's happening. Then we introduced something new. We introduced WIP limits. Then and we're going to talk about what the results actually was of that. And that change, imagine I'm saying sorry to the board here. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I'm pitching up and caring. I'm taking Selena's advice to heart. So then we introduced this change, WIP limits, and we can see that dip. You can take away as the pain that is felt with the change that you're implementing within your organization and your teams. And this oscillating effect of this diagram is, and we can tie that back to what John said on, we need to create hypotheses and quick experiments so that we can start equalizing and reaching our new improvement state. But we need to be aware that there might be an initial dip in introducing anything new. Okay, so let's quickly let's bring some stats to this, right? We want to make data-driven decisions. And there was some interesting stuff that happened here. So let's see what we have. So I'm first going to look at how much work we finished, because we're going to use that to track how successful we were, right? So the first team, I'm not sure which team this was. I've got a team that's named, is it the Blockers? Okay. I'm going to use your stats as well. Okay, so this first team, I'm not sure which team this is. In your first round, you guys completed 11 features. Okay, cool. Cool, so the first team I'm going to make orange. So I'm going to guess here because I didn't write it out, so just bear with me. So we're going to say 11, right? Then the second round, you completed 10. Okay. Second round, completed 10. The third round, you completed 13. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Let's just go there. I don't know how accurate this is. But you get the gist of it, right? This was a very short simulation, so obviously the longer you continue with certain things, the more you'll get data for it, right? So what happened here? We went more agile, we introduced WIP, but your throughput actually decreased. Why is that? Or let me rather ask you this, how did you feel about that? Still forming. Okay, cool. I'll take that. Let's quickly look at the Blockers team here. So you guys finished 9 in your first round. That's just here. Then you finished 9 in your second round as well. That's exactly the same. So you plateaued. Oh, sorry. That's not straight. And then you completed 11 on in your third round. 10, 11. Okay. Cool. So what does that show? So that means you guys didn't do any improvements by introducing WIP. I thought it was going to make us more productive. Putting in this constraint. And it didn't make us more productive. What are you guys doing wrong? Must be you. It's definitely not the practice, right? It's you guys, right? Definitely you. Okay, let's do one more team. Okay, so This team, you guys completed 8 in the first round. So it's here. Then you completed 5 in the second round. So you guys, who did that? Whose team was that? You guys went way worse. Oh no. 5. Oh no. That's not good, right? And then you completed 8 in the third round again. Cool. How would that make you feel? We're on our agile journey. We're going more agile, if I can put it that way, maybe in inverted commas. But we're not improving. Why is that, guys? Let's quickly look at lead time. So this is not just comparing something else, how long the certain items took in the system. So here we can see either it plateaued, it didn't, or it decreased in throughput, and then only went up. So you guys can see some similarities in Virginia's J-curve with we felt the pain, we actually went worse off. Let's quickly look at what happens to lead time. So where am I putting, I feel like I'm misplacing this. Okay, cool. So the first one is 4.3. Okay, so the first round we've got 4.3. Let's call it here. Okay. Second round is 4.2, so it actually went down just a little bit. And then we've got 3.5. Okay. Let me just write it down and then we can talk about it, right? Then we've got this team that got 4.3 as well. So I'm just going to write next to it. 4.1. 2.9. Okay. What are you guys seeing with the lead time? So it's going down, right? So it's not my eyes that's seeing this. You guys are seeing it as well. Okay. The depth of that might not be as significant because it's also a very short time frame that we're playing it, only 10 days, all of that. But we're trying to illustrate the policies, right? As in when you continue, you can take it and modify it to your team's dynamic as well. What are we trying? Oh, sorry, I went already there. So we're trying to say here, a system is not a sum of the behavior of its parts. It's the product of their interactions. What are we trying to optimize for? What are we here for? We're at Agile Africa now, trying to get, hopefully not just the recipe, and for collaboration, okay? So if we're saying we want to is it authentic collaboration? We want to inspire and create authentic collaboration. What do we need to do? What environment do we need to create for our employees, our team members, our organization to actually get that? What behavior are we driving? Are we saying, are we being agile or are we doing agile? Are we saying, if you do X, Y, and Z, if you tick these boxes, if you limit your work in progress, then you will be? No. There's something underlying here, right? We need to look at the bigger picture, and there's been like this theme going around during the whole conference, and everyone kind of talking about elements of it, but it's the bigger picture. We need to know that in our organization, we are dealing with human beings. So it was Zane that mentioned the System 1 and System 2 thinking. People react to change in an emotional way. They feel change. So we need to know if we're going to introduce something to them, that we need to create that environment where they can embrace change. And then they'll actually be able to get the right behavior that we're trying to drive. That we will be agile and not just do agile. Yes? Of course.
It's all good and fun, like when you have agile function of the sum of the crew is like it was like the last part we did. Everybody got rewarded because the whole team produced. But then you have people that like come in for a short period of time and they pay based on what they produce.
Okay.
So how do you become agile in that sense where if he feels I'm dragging him behind and he's earning on things like my pay won't change whether we complete 4 or 5 tasks, but if he doesn't complete anything, he doesn't get paid. So how are we agile in it? Because I think that also creates resistance to
Of course.
agile and stuff like that.
It doesn't, but that's what this game simulated, right? And I'll open it up if someone wants to answer it, but that's what this game is simulating. There's a behavior that we are driving with our organizational policies, and it's conflicting directly with what we are trying to achieve with our practices and principles that we have, right? It's directly conflicting with that. So, yes.
I would like to hear if there's someone here who has chain experience where individuals aren't rewarded, but
The teams are rewarded.
I'm not talking about a team lunch if you have a release or something.
No, where the true organizational policies are changed. Rewarding system. Yes.
Because I think that's what has made a huge difference, the change in the reward policy.
Yes, but that's what we're trying to spike here, guys. We've been on this wave, this agile wave, and it's been great because it was a big contrast to the traditional way of thinking. And now we're at this point in time we're so familiar with these different frameworks and these practices and principles. It's like second nature. But now we need to look at, okay, what is the next steps? How do we actually really see change? How do we embrace that? How do we change our behavior? And that is now the next step, is the underlying policies, the underlying organizational policies. How do we embrace that there is going to be different aspects to a team, different viewpoints, but how do we bring it in together to still achieve that end goal, that end state that we want to reach? So we can maybe unpack that a little bit later. I don't know if we've got time for all of that today, or at least in this session. We do have a feedback poster at the back there. So if you guys want deep dive topics or whatever, please, I think it's lunch now, so we can have some nice discussions over lunch. But I'm not done yet. I want to still do a conclusion. Bartu, you quickly wanted to say something.
I think what's important, I like to tell the story about the turkey often.
Yeah.
The little girl goes to a mom and she asks, Mom, why do you cut the front and the back of the turkey when you put it in the oven? And the mom says, because my mother did it. She goes to her grandmother and she says, Granny, why do you cut the front and back of the turkey when you put it in the oven? And she says, because my mother did it. Unfortunately, her great-grandmother was still alive, so she goes to her great-grandma and she asks, Granny, why do you cut the front and the back of the turkey when you put it in the oven? And her great-grandmother said, you know, little one, when your great-grandfather bought us our first oven, it was too small for the turkey to fit in, so I had to cut the front and the back of the turkey. And that's what we have in organizations today. We have policies that's been there since 1986, and we just blindly follow them. We do not take what we have learned here and implement the right policies to change it in an effective way so it can lay the foundation for decent agile conversations in organizations.
We need.
Perhaps just in answer to your question, Sonia's talk this morning, she mentioned something about change fit. So I think, yes, change you can have team members coming and going and so on. But I think the impact, the fall on a J curve, is going to be less severe if the more change fit they get.
Yes, that's great. That is so perfect, right? Because we need to know that in our environment, the change needs to happen. It's good. We need to make sure that we know that with change, there's an emotional feeling attached to it. We need to minimize that pain that's felt with change, and then still frequently check in with that so that we can reach that end state. You wanted to say something?
Methodology. Our behavior must change.
Okay.
We can't be keeping policies and methods of that nature. But at the same time, we're saying we want you to be
Yes, I love it, and I want to add on that. So we need to. What are we selling to our organization? What are we selling to our clients? What are we selling to our team members? Are we selling to them just this checklist, this framework that will make them better? Sure, we'll see some improvement. Or are we selling them this new way of thinking, this heartfelt, where I told you I'm going to quote you, this heartfelt way of being. We need to know what because if we're selling agile and frameworks as a checklist, if you do X, then you'll get Y, then this conversation is not for you. But if you want to break free from that, if you want to really see improvements, if you really want to see a change, then we need to look at what is the underlying policies, what are the underlying behaviors that we are driving, that we are bringing into our teams and our organization. So on that, I want to make a conclusion. Did you want to say something? So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't limit your work in progress. I'm saying there's more to it. There's a bigger picture. So if there is no collaboration and we limit our work in progress, then performance actually goes down. Or it just plateaus out. You don't really see any value out of it. But only if we limit our work in progress and our policies support collaboration, that's when you'll see true, and that's when your teams will be at their best performance. Do you guys, have I completely ruined your day? Cool. Great stuff. Any feedback? Any questions? Then I want to thank you guys for participating.